A year and a half after the war, Ukraine's counterattack against Russia may not look impressive on the map, but up front, it's clear that progress is being made, albeit slowly. More than 3 weeks since the long-awaited summer offensive began, the Ukrainians have recaptured only a few villages along the southern front. Geolocation photos and videos confirm. Most of them are south of the village of Velika Novosilka. The front line itself is divided into 2 areas. In the line of contact itself, Ukrainian troops attack the Russian defenses with constant attacks, keeping the pressure high and looking for weak points. More than 30 fighting has taken place in eastern Ukraine in recent days, according to the Ukrainian General Staff. Russia continues to focus its main efforts on regions including Lyman, Bakhmut, Avdiivka, and Marinka. Video footage shows guns of the 44th Separate Artillery Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine destroying the Grad rocket salvo system, the Msta-S 152mm self-propelled artillery installation, and the Hyacinth-B 152mm towed howitzer with ammunition. All 3 enemy artillery pieces were well camouflaged by the invaders in firing positions in various forest stands. However, our unmanned aerial vehicle operators found fat targets and adjusted accurate fire on them. The pre-service unit announced this on its own page on the social network Facebook, publishing a relevant video, edited primarily from footage captured by drones. Another video also shows gunners from the 47th Separate Mechanized Brigade, Magura, of the Ukrainian Armed Forces destroying a Russian invader T-90 MS tank, export version T-90M Breakthrough, along with the crew in firing positions near a forest strip. Operatives ZSU announced this on its page on the social network Twitter, publishing a related video recorded by an unmanned aerial vehicle. Its operators found targets and adjusted fire with high-precision weapons unknown to us. A direct hit on the tank could be seen, after which a pillar of fire shot up into the sky from its turret. It is similar to the American Javelin anti-tank missile system. This hypothesis is also confirmed by the fact that only 1 crew member was able to get out of the tank, and he barely moved, then fell motionless next to the car. The other 2 may be dead. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has said he wants his country's counteroffensive against Russia to start much earlier, even as both sides claim gradual progress in a conflict that has dragged on for more than 16 months now. In an interview with CNN, Zelenskyy acknowledged that difficulties on the battlefield had caused Ukrainian forces to slow down a month-long counteroffensive aimed at retaking territory in eastern and southern Ukraine captured by Russia since its February 2022 invasion began. Heavy fighting continues in the Russian-controlled town of Bakhmut in eastern Ukraine, Ukraine's Deputy Defense Minister Hanna Maliar said on Telegram, adding that Ukraine's push in the east was getting stronger. Russian units in several areas of the front have started to clear positions, he said, without providing evidence. In the Tavry direction, Ukrainian Defense Force fighters systematically knocked the enemy out of their positions. In turn, Operational ZSU, on its page on the social network Twitter, shows a video with a cup captured by our defenders in one of the strong positions in Zaporizhia. 2 large-caliber machine guns, 4 handheld anti-tank grenade launchers, multiple infantry reactive Bumblebee flamethrowers, an anti-tank missile system, and an anti-drone gun. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian military said it was also fending off all attacks around the town of Marinka. At the same time, the Ukrainian Defense Forces continued to carry out offensive operations in the Melitopol and Berdyansk directions, strengthen their positions, launch artillery fire on identified enemy targets, and carry out counter-battery actions. A recent New York Times article reported that Ukraine had not deployed most of the 40,000 Western-trained and equipped troops it had shepherded for the campaign. The 68th Brigade itself had been in action for most of the war, defeating a massive Russian armored assault on the town of Volodymyr in February, The General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces reported on 6 July that Russia had lost 232,300 troops in Ukraine since the start of the full-scale invasion, with an estimated 600 casualties as of 5 July. Ukraine has launched a wave of coordinated missile attacks on the entire front, a think tank said Wednesday, amid a retaliatory Kyiv offensive. The Institute for the Study of War, a US-based think tank, said in its latest analysis of the conflict in Ukraine that geolocation footage and images showed that Ukrainian troops were targeting Russian logistics on the front line during the night and during the day on Wednesday. The assessment comes as Alexei Danilov, Secretary of Ukraine's Security and Defense Council, provides an update on the Kyiv counteroffensive, which seeks to weaken Moscow's forces and retake Russian-occupied territory. The Russian mill blogger also said that Ukrainian troops had attacked Russian positions near Melitopol and attempted to attack Berdyansk in the Zaporizhzhia region with British-supplied Storm Shadow cruise missiles. Russian sources also said that Russian air defense systems shot down Ukrainian missiles in the vicinity of Berdyansk. The local Telegram channel also said that Russian air defenses were activated near Skadovsk, in the Kherson region. Russia's TASS news agency quoted the press service of the Russian unit as saying that Ukrainian forces lost fighters when they attempted to attack towards Kupiansk, a city in the eastern Kharkiv region. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko, who last month brokered a deal to end the Wagner armed rebellion, said mercenary chief Yevgeny Prigozhin had returned to Russia. Lukashenko also said Wagner's troops were stationed in their camp in Russian-occupied eastern Ukraine, adding that his offer to host them in Belarus remained. Under a deal brokered by Lukashenko, Prigozhin abandoned what he called a march for justice by thousands of his men in Moscow in exchange for safe passage into exile in Belarus.